What's up, guys? Good morning. Welcome back to the channel. We are back, Mesa, Arizona, back at home, back at my shop, and we are finally finishing up on the razzle dazzle. There was a couple things that I needed to do to this car that I couldn't do without having power in my shop. I have power now, so I'm totally stoked on that. And got both my MIG and my TIG out. Burned in all the roof tabs yesterday. Well, I got 3 more to do. I'm gonna get those tigged in. I use the MIG to tack them in, and then I come back with the TIG and burn them in. So we're gonna get the rest of the roof tabs done, get the roof put on the car, and then I gotta install the fuel pump, do the fuel lines, and wipe this thing down, clean it up, and it should be ready to fire. And then I'm just waiting on some sliders to come in for the seats, because we're gonna mount the seats down the way they should be too. So back to work today on Razzle Dazzle. I'm gonna set up a tripod, put you guys on some time lapse, and you can watch me get the roof tabs put in. All right, so as you guys saw from the time lapse, finished up the roof tabs, and I also riveted in all the springs for the Zeus tabs. I have the roof marked. I'm gonna go ahead and start drilling it, and then we can get this roof attached for the last time. There's also some more wiring cleanup that I'm gonna do, but I wanted to get the roof on first. If you look here, you guys know how much I love butt connectors. I hate them. So I'm gonna clean that up, get the light bar mounted back on now that the roof's on, and get old Razzle Dazzle finished up and ready to start. All right, well, I got the roof drilled, got it put on. I'm out of Zeus tabs, or Zeus fasteners, so I gotta go pick some up. Got the light bar sitting down in there. I had a couple little issues when we rolled this in the bead roller. It kind of buckled right here, and it's also touching these tabs, which I think there was a light bar on these tabs. But we're gonna go ahead and cut these tabs off. We'll smooth the tube out, and then I think we're gonna try to paint the whole upper half, you know, the upper tubes where I knocked all the paint off for putting all the tabs in. Yeah, so we may just try to paint the whole upper half of the car. So yeah, we're gonna knock these tabs off. I'm gonna go get some more Zeus tabs, Zeus fasteners, not the tabs. And we'll get the roof finished up and then move on to the seats. All right, well, things are starting to move pretty quick around here. I've got all the floor panels in and bolted down. So this thing will have a solid floor in it now in the front, which he did not have before. Now, mind you, can it all be redone? Yes, it's just a little bit of aluminum work, not a big deal. Personally, I would like to put a hood on this car and enclose the whole front of this. We don't have time for that now, but maybe in the off season we will, I mean, this car's small enough, we might just tear this whole thing down and redo the whole car. I'm gonna leave that up to Kyle. Depends on what he wants to do with it. But yeah, things are starting to move quickly. This is the one panel that I kind of screwed up on. It's gonna go here. I'm gonna take this back over to the big shop on Monday, stick it back in the shear. I'm just gonna cut it so it sits along these bars. and I'll screw it to the bars just to cover it. Trying to adapt to this console is kind of rough because this is all bent down. It used to be Zeus down, and I think there was another part to it here, but the wiring's pretty much wrapped up. I got to clean up these loops right here, and then move it on to the fuel system, put the fuel pump in it, mount the tank back down, and this thing's going to be ready to fire up, guys. So getting real close on Razzle Dazzle, and then I believe we're going to take this thing to the dyno, roll it on the dyno and see how it does, see if it needs any adjustment, and if it does, we'll have Brent from PFI remote into it, and while we're on the dyno, and he can make whatever adjustments it needs. So yeah, guys, Razzle Dazzle's just about there and just about finished up. What's up, guys? Good morning. Welcome back to the channel. It is another beautiful sunny day out here in wonderful Glamis, California. We are out here today to finish the suspension tuning on Cleetus Mcfarlands sand car. It's over at Shock Talk right now, just right down on Vendors Row. We are going to head over there in a few minutes, go pick up the car. I got to give it a fresh oil change, and then we are going to go out with Carl. He's going to tell us all about what he did to the car, and we're going to take it for a rip and get it ready for Cleetus. So you guys stick around, and we're going to bring you with us. And it looks like Joe is already working. Look at this guy. Working on a toy hauler already. It must have been bad. I see 2 jacks. Oh, yeah.
Much more better than it was. Now the other one's going to be up front.
That was a strapped, pulled in.
Bent the frame. I had to bend the frame back, then put the first back on.
Man. All right, guys, so we're back out at Glamis Fab today, and Jorge, again, you know, my buddy, the Tesla Swap King, has showed up with this like 86, 85 Honda Odyssey, and they've converted it to electric. This is the motorcycle setup. It's called a Zero, and they're telling me that this thing is crazy fast. They did have the down bars on here, but they couldn't turn, so they're gonna have to, you know, add some bars there. But we're gonna throw a couple cameras on this thing and take it for a rip and see how fast this thing really is. Hey, all right, guys, so we're gonna take this thing for a rip. This thing is friggin' fast. I know I'm not wearing a helmet. I know there's bars. It's working well. I get it. I get all the same stuff. But it's on a closed area. Dude, this thing is crazy. All right, well, I got the tire fixed that I blew off the bead. I'm gonna take this thing for another rip and see how she does. This time I'm gonna turn the camera around so you guys can see where we're going. will drive this thing all day, every day. This thing is so cool.
I can send it to you, okay?
You were gone before you could turn our head.
Yeah, it's so fast. It's incredible.
Wow.
I don't need more power.
60 miles an hour. It says 60 on the...
I don't know, that one is correct.
All right, guys. Well, unfortunately, it turned from a beautiful sunny day like you guys saw this morning to this afternoon. We're just getting ready to test Garrett's car, and this happened. It is windy. It's starting to rain. So we are going to postpone the rest of his testing until Monday. I'll probably be back out here Monday to test and film. And I guess we'll get back into it then. But the weather's just getting too brutal out here. He's got goggles and bibs on, and he's ready to work no matter what. So yeah, this turned really quick on us. So
It's starting to rain.
yeah. All right, guys. Well, here she is. After our rain delay yesterday, Carl came out, and we're going to take this thing for a rip. So, guys, this is Carl from Shock Talk, and he's the one that did all the work. You want to give us just a brief explanation of what you did and what needed to be done?
So this thing was way oversprung. Spring rate was way too high. Went to a triple rate in the rear, tried to take some of that razor shatter, all the bumps that are out here now, away.
Yep.
And still have a lot of bottom out resistance with a way heavier lower spring than what I had before. So split the difference into 3 on the rear, dropped the front ride height like a foot because that thing was sitting at full droop, just sitting there at ride height.
Yeah, and the cars look cool when they're that way, but they don't work for nothing. It's just
there's no more droop travel. You're just always at full max droop.
Right.
It doesn't handle for crap like that. So limit straps in the front now too. Foam bumps on the bypasses, so the shock that's going to bottom out now. It's got a little eye-box squishy foam on it, so when it does finally bottom out, it doesn't shove sand up into the seal.
Gotcha.
That's one of the main reasons why shocks leak, is when it finally does bottom out and it hits that hard puck, it shoves sand up into the seal and then it scratches your shaft. And
nobody wants a scratch shaft.
nobody wants to scratch shaft. So yeah, rebuilt, drilled all the holes in the check valves because they were hydrolocking, so the bypasses were sticking. They were hydrolocking so they wouldn't open quick, but then when they do fully compress onto that adjuster, they would stick. So then all of a sudden it would feel like there was no shock, and then it would get crazy spongy and try to flip you over.
Yeah, that's what was happening when we drove it. And Garrett told me the same thing. When he drive it, the ass end would just buck. It would just try to buck off the ground. And I showed you guys that in the last video that I did on this car, that it just bucked out of control. Like I told you guys before, Carl is our go-to guy for shock tuning. If you guys are ever in the Glamis area or even Yuma, I mean, he does cars from anywhere. He'll do trophy trucks, sand cars. Guys bring them from everywhere. I'll put a link to his Instagram. It's McMasterFabber. I'll put it down below in the description of this video. But in the meantime, guys, we're going to load this thing up, and we're going to not load it up. We're going to hop in it, and we're going to go take this thing for a rip. I'll put a couple cameras on it, and we'll see how she does. All right, guys, so we're loaded up in the car. Carl's grabbing a wrench really quick. And I can already tell just from driving it in a circle, this thing's way better. Like he said, the front's sitting a lot lower, but it's going to expand a lot. So this thing's going to be a ripper, boys. Dude, I don't know if you guys can see that from the video, but holy crap. This is like a whole different car. Like, honestly, I don't think I've ever driven, like even in my own cars. I mean, I've driven that fast down Sand Highway, but it's way more violent in my car. This thing is like a friggin', sorry, don't demonetize me. My hands are shaking right now. This thing is insane. Carl's back there just doing a quick little adjustment on the bypasses, doing a couple clicks. We're on our way up to Olds, but I could probably fly down this road to Olds as fast as this car would go, and it would just take it. You can actually hear the bypasses in the front working now. They're clicking, which you didn't really hear that before. You'd hear them kind of lock up, but this thing is amazing now. No more bucking in the rear. Like, I don't know if you guys saw it in the last video, but when this car bucked on me, it almost flipped me over sideways. Like, it scared me pretty good. But now, holy crap, what a difference. Dude, Garrett, you're in for a friggin' treat, dude. You're not even going to believe what this car does.
It was when I got it on all these adjusters. People don't get it. There's just a lot more going on with these things than you can even possibly comprehend.
Guys, and that's why we use Carl, because suspension tuning and fabrication is what he specializes in. So we build sand cars, Joe builds sand cars. He can give a little twist and a tweak here and there on stuff, but it's not what we specialize in. That's what Carl specializes in. And you guys, when I get the tripod up, you're going to see the result. This thing freaking rips through the whoops. So if my car handles anything like this does when it's done, dude, it's going to be all over with. All right, guys. Well, we were ripping it down the hill. Epic jump off the bottom, and that reverse shifter got the best of me, and I think we lost the transmission. It was making a little noise. We were hoping it was going to get us through, but it looks like it's not very happy. So I think we're going to have to get the trans out of this thing, get it over to Bill at Arizona Transaxle, and find out what the hell just happened. Well, guys, that's where she let loose, right there. I came off this little hill right there, stood it into a wheelie, and the transmission said, no thank you, I'm not having this no more. And it was due, you know, it is what it is. So since I'm out here, I'm gonna go ahead and just I'm gonna shred this thing today. We'll get it towed back over to the shop. I'll get the motor pulled out, get the transmission pulled out, and I'll get it dropped off over at Bill at Arizona Transaxle, and see if I can get a rush on this thing and have him go through it this week, and then hopefully be able to put it back in next weekend. We'll hopefully see. You know, Bill's a good guy, and he usually takes care of us pretty good. So other than that, other than the transmission blowing up, the suspension is freaking dialed, dude. This thing is so fast. It works so well. But you know, it happens. It's kind of the business of off-road stuff. All right, and there's Carl to the rescue. So I've never had to take the toe of shame out of Olds. This is the first time ever. But not my car. So like I said, we're gonna get this back over to the shop, and I'll get the trans pulled out. All right, so here we are back at Glamis Fab. I'm already starting to tear in Cleetus's car. Gonna get this motor out, get that transmission out. Once the motor comes out, the transmission takes like 5 minutes. Not a big deal. Undo the CVs, undo the mounting bolts, and we'll get it right out. I'll pull my truck over here, and then we'll get the transmission put into my truck, and I'll get cleaned up and get on the road, get home. Don't think this is supposed to happen. Input shaft bearing is trashed. All right, well, motor's out. Transmission is making a whole bunch of noise. We're gonna go ahead and pull the CVs, unbolt the transmission, pull it out, and get it in my truck. I'm trying to beat this weather here. It's coming. So it is supposed to rain. Looks like I may beat the weather. It's hard to get stuff done. We're normally closed today, but I'm hanging out and doing this because this happened. And customers, you know, they see you here, they stop, they want stuff. So I've been having to stop and help customers out a little bit. But anyhow, guys, we're going to get this transmission pulled out. I'll get my truck pulled over here, get it loaded up, get the car pushed in. We'll set the motor back down here on the floor. Hopefully Bill can get it done for us in a week. That would be awesome. That way we can get it put back in the car this coming weekend. Continue on with the testing, and we'll keep on moving forward, boys. Well, guys, as you can see, I did not beat the rain. I did get the transmission out. It's in the bed of my truck. Shop's all closed up, and I'm headed back home. Like I said, hopefully they can get the transmission apart, see what's going on inside of it. Sorry, I put my seatbelt on. It's making a whole bunch of noise, and I actually had to get towed back from Oldsmobile Hill. That is the first time ever since I've been Duning that I have ever had to get towed back from Olds, ever. I've had other issues where I've broken cars and we limped them back or fixed them in the Dunes and drove them back, but I've never been behind a strap. And I guess it was the first time for everything. So we're on the road, headed home, and I'll check in with you guys tomorrow when we get the transmission dropped off, and we'll go from there. Guys, so in typical fashion, I forgot to shoot an outro while I was there. Although I did get the transmission dropped off, they're going to get it apart. They're going to call me tomorrow, let me know what it needs, so hopefully we can get it back together and back in the car. In the meantime, I want to remind you guys, you can go to theduneaddict.com, get yourself a hat, a hoodie, or a sweatshirt. We've got everything in stock and shipping daily. So as usual, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you give us a like and a subscribe, and we will see you in the dunes.